recording.
This meeting is being recorded.
And I can't see, and I need to do the introduction. Oh my God. Hello. We're live. We are also the Spiritual Neighborhood. The Spiritual Neighborhood is a grassroots community project of the Council of Families for Children, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. We believe that sick can be fixed, so we support services that improve the quality of life for the body, mind, or spirit for the integration of a healthy, happy human. And Elizabeth is having trouble to get online. I just lost my total train of thought. Oh my Lord. I'm having a bad day, y'all. I will just tell you all that. So today is Audra Watley, one of my favorite people. And she and I were talking health with Lou Ann. And so we're already in the middle of a discussion. So y'all are just going to have to jump in with us because we're probably going to continue in that same vein. Oh, wait, there's Elizabeth. She just likes showing up like a diva.
Like she made it. Woohoo!
Yeah, let's all pretend we don't see her.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Pretend we don't see her. Just pretend she's not there.
I would say she can hear you.
I know.
Like I'm not here.
I know. We're so glad you could make it.
Thank you, Jesus.
All
computer gods and Zoom whatever.
Zoom gremlins.
All God's children say amen.
Amen. Well, I'm sitting there and I'm just watching it spin, and it just spins. And I thought, well, this is getting nowhere, so I literally had to shut down the computer and reboot it. We had a problem with this last night.
I saw that on Facebook that y'all got knocked out. How many times? 3 times? 2 times?
No, we had this client had called in from Long Beach, California, and she wanted, basically, I think her question was she on the right pathway? And Carrie and I were both kind of looking at each other, and I kept saying, I feel like this is a wave that just keeps coming in. It's got all this energy, and it's like boom, and it just kept coming. And the next thing I know, Carrie and I are talking, and we're just having this great conversation, and it's dead air.
Dead air. Dead air.
If it hadn't have been for Luann, we would not have known this. So Luann's going, I hear nothing.
Your client is saying, hello?
And if it hadn't have been for her, we wouldn't have known we weren't on the air. I mean, eventually, I'm sure we would have figured out something, But that's radio. I mean, so what we did was, you just get calm and you think, what can I do? So I just closed out the show. Just close the show out. You wait a minute. You go back into the space. You go back into Blog Talk and you create a new show. So it was like, okay, we'll create the show for 9:00. So we created it for 9:00. We had 5 minutes to get prepared. And then all of a sudden it's like a brand new show.
Let me make a suggestion for you guys, if you don't mind, because y'all were having trouble the other day also. Oh my God, we're dead on the air. Hang on a minute.
Speaking of ranting.
Yeah. Why don't you try wearing some magnetic bracelets when the two of you are in the room together and see if that doesn't calm the energy down a little bit? Okay, we're live again.
Well, that's an interesting thought.
I had to do that. What the hell? Okay, there it goes. I had to do that because my computer kept blowing up when I was under a lot of stress when my kids were sick. I mean, I could not sit down at my computer without blowing it up. And so I just started wearing magnet bracelets on both arms. Took care of that real quick. Worked real well.
That's an interesting thought.
I know people think that's crazy, but I don't care. It worked. That's all I care about. If that's a placebo, God help me. I need a placebo. Audra, we're so glad you're here.
Really?
Let's focus on you, darling.
Absolutely. We're so happy.
Like y'all are talking technology, and I'm like, oh God, when's Mercury retrograde coming? Because it's coming again soon.
It's not that far off, but just, you're okay. Right now, you're okay.
I don't want to hear the word retrograde again this year. I am sick of that word. I just wipe it out of your vocabulary. I don't care how retrograded it gets. You better unretrograde it.
Just suck it up and go on. Okay, Audra, what have you got for us today?
I think what we said we were going to talk about was food cravings.
Yes.
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 Food cravings. Yeah.
See? Oh my God, where's my pen? Where's my
You didn't send me a list, but it's all right. Okay.
I'm prepared.
All right. So Chinese medicine looks at things a little bit differently than Western medicine does, for sure. But we're going to have a little bit of both. Not that Western medicine really talks about cravings, but, there are some of those things out there that are like, oh, if you're craving chocolate, that's magnesium. So we'll talk a little bit about those. But first, I'm going to kind of dive into the 5 elements because that's my favorite part. So each of the 5 elements has their own taste, and that taste usually represents the herbs and the other things that go with it. So a lot of times, like my people that crave sweet, which is probably one of the things that I see most often, sweet is going to go with the earth element. So the earth element also goes with the emotion worry. So all of my worriers out there, they're more likely to crave sweet things. But instead of eating sweet things, there's lots of other things that you can do to nourish yourself. Think of those, like, what is the most nourishing for you? Get a massage, get a hug, those type of things where you're doing self-care practices as opposed to trying to get nourishment through sugar. Because sugar itself is not even what you're really craving. Most often you're craving harmonizing herbs that tend to be a little bit sweet, like licorice root. So Yogi Tea makes an amazing, I think it's Egyptian licorice root, and they have an Egyptian licorice root tea with mint as well. Both of those are great ways if you're always a sugar craver. Both of those are great ways to kind of help cut that sugar craving. Is licorice root tea, or like I said, doing things just to nourish yourself from. The next element after earth is metal. A lot of people don't necessarily crave metallic things, but that's not the taste that goes with it. Usually that's going to be spicy things. So I don't hear this a lot from women, but I hear it more often from guys, I think. And it's just because the element that goes with metal is grief. And they tend to just suck it up and ignore it. Or women are more often to, have their good cry and then move on with whatever's next. But that craving for spicy things like hot sauces and chili peppers and jalapenos, you can do all of that. But at the same time, it's kind of like that message that's there is that, to get out of that stuckness and that sadness, it's like you kind of have to grieve it and let it go. You're not going to be able to disperse, which if you think about hot peppers, they make you sweat, so they're pushing things out. You're not going to be able to push those things out if you don't actually deal with the underlying grief or sadness that's going on there. So, yeah, earth, metal, fire is the next one. You would think fire is the spicy, but fire is actually bitter. So things like coffee and cocoa, those kinds of cravings, you can also, with this one, you can also have a sense of fatigue. So most people aren't going to crave necessarily bitter things, but they'll be like, oh, I could really use a cup of coffee. And it's not necessarily for the energy boost, although it may be, but it's really just a reminder to allow yourself to experience joy and allow yourself to be loved, because it's like we all have an abundance of love around us, and yet, sorry, I'm closing the door here. We all have an abundance of love around us if we let it in.
Would dill pickles fall under that category?
We're getting there.
Okay, because you said bitter, I thought, well, dill pickles.
Yeah, I was going to say bitter. So pickles I think of as either more salty or sour, and those are our next two, actually. Okay. So we did earth, we did metal, we did fire. So the water element is actually going to be the salty craving things. Okay. And so this is probably the one that I crave the most. It goes right along with fear and anxiety. So it's like calming your adrenals. Like we want that crunchy, salty sort of thing. Pickles, Pickles are crunchy and salty. Definitely dill pickles are crunchy and salty. Those types of things. Cheese also falls. It's not necessarily crunchy, but cheese also falls in that salty category.
Oh, this is me then. Oh, yeah.
And so for those kind of things, it's like we need to find things that just support our faith, or like go back into a place of, letting yourself get grounded, reflect within, and remind yourself, like, just whatever path it is that you're supported and that you're not on your own. We're all part of a larger spiritual community, neighborhood, right? That's what we're doing here. And that, you're supported, even if you don't have a person, a being right there next to you, it's like you still have an abundance of support behind you. And then the last, I kind of did these out of order, but the last element is wood, and wood is sour. So citrus fruits, sour cream, vinegar, those kind of things. I usually see this more with kids because this is about growth process, right? When you're feeling cloudy or frustrated or even angry and you just can't quite get through to whatever's next, or you're just kind of more irritable. Sometimes those sour sort of things, and I don't mean Sour Patch Kids, y'all, citrus fruits, vitamin C, those kind of things will be helpful. So wood element was sour, water, or say, I'm going to do them in order. Wood is sour, fire, bitter, earth, sweet, metal, spicy, and water element was salty. So that's what we're talking about. Now, specific things, and if I'm, tell me to slow down if you need me to. So it's like some of those specific things that we talk about every once in a while, you'll crave like red meat, like particularly women. I notice this with more than men. And that's because we do tend to get a little more iron deficient than the fellas. Especially younger women that are still having cycles. It's like, yes, sometimes you just need a little more iron. And so you may have that meat craving. Now, there's lots of other places that you can get iron than just meat. Spinach and sesame seeds and olives are all great sources. For iron itself. Now, I don't hear this a lot from people, but occasionally I'll hear people that are craving sodas. And sodas a lot of times are reminding us that we have a vitamin C deficiency or potentially like a calcium. So if you think of, sodas themselves are calcium carbonate, right? And even though there's absolutely no vitamin C in them, there's nothing of use in them. The thing that makes them fizzy is that calcium carbonate. So sometimes it's a calcium deficiency when you're craving sodas, but a lot more often it's going to be fruits and things with vitamin C. One of the fruits that's probably highest in vitamin C is kiwi. A lot of people don't think of that. They think oranges, but oranges are loaded with sugar. And the kiwi is a little bit better as far as glycemic index than the oranges and things like that. Especially better than orange juice, because orange juice is pretty much nothing but concentrated sugar. So if you're not going to eat the whole fruit, just don't do it. Okay. So magnesium. So a lot of people don't know, you don't necessarily crave magnesium, but people will crave chocolate. And if you're just craving the sweet of chocolate, that could be some other things like we were talking about as far as like giving yourself those nourishing things. But sweet itself can also be chromium. Yeah, it can be a deficiency in chromium. But if it's chocolate specifically, or you're getting leg cramps, that's a magnesium deficiency. And foods that are high in magnesium other than chocolate are going to be spinach. Your leafy greens like Swiss chard, and even your spinach again. Did I say spinach twice? I think I did. Anyway, but your cashews, your pumpkin seeds, your sunflower seeds, those are all good sources of magnesium in itself. The pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds are also great sources of zinc. Now, here's the deal. If you're sprinkling whole pumpkin seeds on your salad, or whole sunflower seeds specifically, they are likely to come out the same way they went in. So you either have
That's
to make
a
sure
visual.
I know. You either have to make sure that you chew them really well or go for something like Sunbutter.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. What does it mean when I don't care if it's sweet or salty or whatever. I love texture, crunchy things. So like if I'm going to eat chocolate, I want M&Ms or like an Almond Joy with the crunch. I like gritty candy, like pralines that are gritty. Anything that's got a grit to it, I like gritty.
Yeah, so and everybody's a little bit different on that, but the crunchy part of it usually is either calcium or some of the other minerals.
Okay.
And so I would just kind of, I'd look at some other things, but particularly that kind of like gritty or crunchy, a lot of times that's going to be more calcium or the minerals themselves.
Yeah, because like just to eat chocolate, I don't want to eat chocolate, but you give me an M&M, I want 500 of them,
Yeah, I used to when I was a little kid, I used to and chew the edges, the crunchy part off.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the crunch.
But you know what? I ate sand as a child, so I did. I used to eat. I love the texture. I just, I would just love that feel of that grittiness in my mouth. I still do, but I don't eat sand.
That's an interesting one. But I would say that was probably like a really young age calcium deficiency.
Mm.
What about rocks? If a child eats rocks? Huh?
Yeah, I don't know, and I think it probably depends on the kid. But they're looking for minerals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of some sort.
Of course, yes.
It's some sort of mineral deficiency. Now we have so my office manager works with a dog rescue. She's a foster, and she has one that she has a little autistic pup, little autistic dachshund. And her husband wears a zinc bracelet, and he will go and focus on and just hyper focus on licking that zinc bracelet until he just about passes out because he's licking it. And it's not necessarily that he's zinc deficient, but there's something about the minerals in the metal that tends to calm his, like I said, that whole doggy autism thing.
What do they like to suck on pennies? Is that a copper deficiency?
There's virtually no copper in pennies anymore. So there may be some sort of, mineral deficiency there, but I don't know which one, or metal deficiency.
Yeah, there's a lot of zinc in pennies now.
Yeah, I was going to say I forget what else is in there, but it's zinc and aluminum and something, right?
So we have one of our listeners wants to know, what about a chalky consistency?
A chalky consistency.
Magnesium, milk of magnesia.
Yeah, I was going to say either magnesium or calcium again, because you're just kind of getting that same chalk. I mean, it's there's still that same almost gritty texture.
Okay, so my favorite comfort food is chili with melted cheese in any form or fashion, on enchiladas, on pasta, on Fritos. Anything, on anything, but chili with melted cheese. So is that metal or fire? Or water?
I was going to say that could be, truthfully, it's when you look at what's there, it could be iron. It's one of those things. Your favorite foods are your favorite foods for lots of reasons. But if it's something that's actually a craving, you're driven to go find something. Some people, it's they're not just craving sweet, they're craving creamy.
Yes.
There's a texture that, real soft, creamy something or other, and they can eat yogurt, they can eat ice cream, they can eat everything in the kitchen, and they still don't quite get that, whatever it is.
Right.
That's really more of an emotional craving for nourishment. It's you want someone to take care of you or love on you. And it's so some of those cravings really have to do with just that emotional component as much as it does a vitamin or a mineral. But as far as what you're getting in your chili cheese fries.
Who said I hate fries? Ugh.
Yeah, or your chili pie, your Frito pie. There we go. The meat itself has got plenty, is probably iron. If you crave Frito pie, it's you're getting your cayenne pepper, which is that spicy category, which is going to kind of help push things out and deal with the grief. You're getting iron. And meat, so particularly red meat, falls into that earth category. It falls into the earth category. Chicken is going to be another category, and I don't remember right off the top of my head where chicken actually falls. But red meat itself is definitely an earthy, more earthy. And then the cheese itself goes back to the salty. So you're kind of hitting like salty and
I'm well balanced.
And crunchy all together. And
very well balanced. I think it's an emotional thing for me because my grandfather always fixed that at the fire department, and I am stressed, but I think it's an emotional thing because I can't eat very much of it. I get full and then I'm done. But I mean, I'll eat cheese on anything. Good God, yeah. What can you not eat with cheese? Fruit, you can eat it on vegetables, you can eat it on meat.
Right.
It's the all-purpose.
Yeah.
Food.
Oh yeah, and there's so many flavors.
Yeah, so I have one more real interesting one for you guys. So for the people out there that crave breads and pastas and carbs, that's one that I don't relate with a lot. But yes, I was going to say there's definitely people out there that do that. That's generally a nitrogen. Your body's like asking for nitrogen, and the best foods for nitrogen are going to be high protein foods. So your meats, your fatty fishes. Nuts and beans, and actually chia seeds. One of my favorite things to do with chia seeds is I take I mix up a protein shake. Like I would make my protein shake with my vitamins and minerals, and I put about 2 tablespoons of chia seeds in there, and I stir it up, let it sit for about 30 minutes, put it in the fridge, and I eat it like pudding. It's fantastic.
Well, I'm going to come to your house and let you cook for me.
I was gonna say, that's like the easiest thing to do. Like I said, your protein shake in your bowl with some chia seeds, and then just stick it in the fridge.
Well, I live on protein.
That doesn't sound half bad. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, the chia seeds absorb it all, absorb the liquid, and that's what makes it pudding-ing.
Yes.
But see, I don't like the texture of pudding. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, so again, my ones that crave that sweet, smooth, creamy texture. That's a really great way to get like something in there that's not terrible for you.
That's a great idea.
I get on a pasta kick. And it's just crazy. I mean, it's pasta or anything that's carby. Bread, and I'm not a big bread fan. Well, I don't eat. I changed that. I don't eat bread as much as I used to because of what you were talking about on the foods to eat and not. So I've just kind of moved that out. But pasta.
Now, see, the bread has to have a crusty outside, or I don't want it. I got to have that crunchy, crispy, And then
just give me bread.
And then it's just a little piece of bread.
Give me something like from the bread from Olive Garden, or remember at Steak and Ale when they had that brown.
That was good. That was good. I love the bread at Pappadeaux's though, and so I get one little piece of bread at Pappadeaux's and then put a whole thing of butter on there. My thing is butter.
Yeah. Little bread on your butter there?
Yeah, exactly. That's just a way to get the butter in there without using a spoon because people freak out when you eat it with a spoon,
Yeah, they look at you weird. Yeah.
Oh, they do that anyway, but I don't care.
So, what about people who chew ice?
Ooh!
I actually used to be one of those people. I've heard a lot of about that. Yeah. So sometimes that's the crunchy thing, like the mineral deficiencies and those sort of things. I've also heard it can be a sign of parasites, intestinal parasites.
You're full of worms. Ooh.
No.
Full of worms. Worms.
I don't have that. I've been tested.
You've been tested. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like I said, it's just that like it's another mechanism for dealing with anxiety. So just like the crunchy salty would be, but it's not salty, it's just crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad for your teeth. My dentist told me to stop doing it. Said, do you crunch ice or something? Are you crunching? So I'm going, well, yeah, I crunch ice. We had an ice maker at the office, and it gave that ice like you get at Sonic, those little pieces. Just
that's like
I would just crunch away.
You're supposed to suck those, not
that's
crunch
what we call
them.
the good ice.
You put them in your mouth and you suck them. Don't crunch them, you suck them. You know why it's bad for your teeth, though? Especially if you're around me, because I will pop you in your mouth if you don't stop. Woo, that nerve.
You know what's going to happen tomorrow? We're going to go to Sonic and pick up big glasses of crunchy ice.
I don't care.
Just for you, Deborah.
I will throw them on you. I will exercise you. The power of ice compels me. The power of ice compels me.
Is there anything that someone can take for being a smart ass? Is there a food? Is
Or
there a
sarcasm? Sarcasm, maybe?
sarcasm? Is that a deficiency in the body?
Yeah, it's called bourbon.
Asking for a friend.
Well, at least she called me a friend. It's called bourbon, girls. Bring your crown with you tomorrow.
I was talking about myself. I thought, yeah, you're a smart ass. Shut up. My goodness. Okay.
Oh, wait, sarcasm. Go eat a pickle. You'll be fine. No.
that would sound like kosher pickle. Ooh.
I like garlic.
Yummy.
I like bread and butter. I like bread and butter. Go
No, you
figure.
like butter and bread.
No, I like bread and butter pickles. I like bread and butter pickles. Shit.
She wants sweet, sour, and crunchy.
I want it all. Why do I have to pick? Why can't I have it all?
What's all?
I'm one of those weird people. It's like I don't like my sour with sweet. That's just kind of weird. And I definitely don't like sweet meat. That weirds me out.
Oh, sweet meat. No, sweet meat's weird.
That's gross.
I don't like my food touching on the plate. I don't like my food touching on the plate.
I used to be like that too.
And I eat
Do
all
you
of
like those adult plates where they have it all, sectioned out where you put it where you don't touch?
It's bento boxes, yes.
Oh, I love
That's
bento
the
boxes.
version.
They're perfect for that. I don't like them to touch, and I eat all of one thing before I eat something else. I might taste a little of everything to make sure it's all right. Then I eat I eat my least favorite food first, and leave the one I like the best for last.
That's kind of what I do too.
See, I'm not weird.
Yeah. I don't mind if they touch anymore, though. That doesn't weird me out as much as it used to.
They don't like each other.
Mom would laugh because wherever my peas and the potatoes touched, there'd be like this strip of like pea potatoes that just stayed on the plate. I
just kind of gently move them so nobody knows that I'm separating them a little bit,
Well, but she put them on the plate, so they were already touching. So they would just stay there.
Well, it's not like I'm going to have hysterics if they touch, but it's just not my preference.
Yeah.
Well, the only time I ever notice that in the family is if I'm with my brother or something. And this is, been some years ago. If we went through a drive-through or whatever, he would eat his French fries first, all of them. He would eat his hamburger second, all of it. And then he would drink his drink. And I was just fascinated by that concept of you're not mixing it together.
It gets mixed in your stomach. It gets mixed in your stomach. Your body does the work.
He just did, and that's like, okay, wow, that was interesting.
No, you're confusing your tongue, your taste buds. You confuse them when you put too much in there at one time. You have to, and then you can really savor that flavor and get all of it out at one time and really appreciate. I'm just telling you, I'm a connoisseur of taste.
Oh my Lord.
Oh. Okay. So nitrogen. Nitrogen is that pasta, carby. Now I get on that. I get on that carb kick where I want a baked potato, or I want pasta, or I want bread. I mean that is a feeling, and I can feel it.
Yeah.
That and chocolate.
So is there anything else besides high protein foods?
With the nitrogen?
Yes.
Yeah. Fatty fish, nuts, beans, chia seeds. Beans are actually a really good source of nitrogen.
Oh, that makes sense. When I got sick last year, one of the things that I craved, and I mean I craved this, was pork and beans.
Oh, I love pork and beans. I love pork and beans. Lima beans are too big.
On toast.
Lima
Very
beans are
British.
too big and butter beans are too big, so they're too much mushy at one time. Ooh, but pork and beans are just the right size of mush.
Pork and beans on toast. It was like, and I had to have it every day.
Yeah,
and
so then you got
I would
the
eat
crunch.
pork and beans throughout the day. It's just like, oh, I need this so badly.
Okay, I'm gonna go eat now. I'm hungry.
Made me feel so much better. It did. It made me feel so much better. It's amazing, though, when you stop and think about what it is that your body or your emotional components are asking for.
Yeah. I think most of us don't slow down enough. We just like, sweet. Okay, great. Sugar.
Yeah.
And it's and then we're just off of the, off on the run for whatever's next. And
See, I don't like sweets that much, but I love buttercream icing. So everyone thinks I like cake, but I cut the cake out and just leave the edges of icing, and I eat the icing. And there's just enough of the cake crumbs to hold it together.
my family laughs at me because when I stopped eating wheat, it's like they'd make a cake and I'd be like, wait, just save that bowl of icing for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't mess with that icing. Just put that over to the side.
I'll just put it on a cracker.
That's not trash.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
No, give me a couple of crackers. Let me just put that on.
Exactly. God, you and I have a lot in
Anybody got
common.
any celery? We're going to put buttercream on celery today.
That would work.
Once again.
That would work.
It would.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds yummy.
I love buttercream icing. I don't like that fondant crap. Ooh.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fondant to me is just for show. If
Yeah.
you're building a tower of something, then use fondant to hold it together because it works well. But to eat,
Yeah, I'm going to show fondant. I'm going to show fondant straight to the trash can.
give me something that's
Yeah.
like gooey.
Let me introduce you to the trash can, Miss Fondant. There you go. And oh my God! And don't even call it cake if you do that. That's just a piece of sculpture you did.
It's sculpture. Nice artwork. Now where's the food?
Yeah.
Where's the food?
Exactly. I love crackers and cheese though. Any kind of crackers, any kind of cheese. I love cheese. Cheese.
I like
cheese.
different kinds or types of crackers. I like different, the different kinds of crackers. I'm not so wild on cheese, though. I mean, I like cheese, but...
So, according to Audra, what are you afraid of?
With cheese?
Yes, because she said water, salty, and fear.
I'm afraid of cheese.
It's
So,
weird
Is that
so things like
Elizabeth or
pickles,
I guess there's a difference between a preference for foods and an actual craving.
Yeah, and I don't... That's not a craving for me.
So
Yeah.
that means that
I
we're
just
normal.
enjoy it.
We're normal. I just
I
enjoy it.
enjoy cheese.
So Scott pointed out something to me last night as he was making me some crackers and cheese. I have been calling this cracker New Thins, but it's really Nut Thins.
Yeah. Because
I've been calling them New Thins for
It's that
years.
New cracker. It's that new thing.
But they're Nut
I'll
Thins.
say some of those new things, little cheese.
And he goes, you do realize they're made out of nuts. They're made out of almonds and cashews, and that's why they're Nut Thins. And I went, no, I never really kind of made that connection.
Isn't that kind of like why they call them Cheetos? Oh, God, you make my head hurt. Oh.
Well, I thought, well, why are you just now waiting now to tell me this? Because I have been calling him that for like 10 effing years. Why now? Why could I just be ignorant?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, maybe that's why you didn't get your order. They're going, I don't know what she's asking for. It may not be available. Oh,
Well, English
okay,
is
that
not
made
my
me feel
first
better.
language.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Oh my
It's always exciting here on the Lunch Bunch.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
It's
Always
exciting in
amazing.
my world all day long. Y'all should come visit.
Oh my goodness, that. I loved it. That was great. Oh, made me cry.
Okay, so every time I get on this show, Audra, my nose runs. Why is that? I am fine till I get on the camera, and then my nose starts to run. And if you go back and look at all the videos, I'm doing this the whole time. You know, what the hell is wrong? Oh my gosh, now it's frozen up. What the heck? Hello, is anybody with me? Hello. 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 Okay. I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can anybody hear me? Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay.